In the headlines, 3 government agencies involved in the energy sector to be merged. Prime Minister Mia Amor-Mottley presented with an award for her global leadership on climate action and policy. A program launched to teach students across the island about the importance of tourism. And in sports, skipper Craig Brathwaite backs the Pride to return to winning ways against the Academy.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC NewsNight, starting now.
Good evening and welcome. I'm Tisha Hines. Government is assuring there will be no staff cuts as it gives the date for the merger of 3 of its energy companies. The Barbados National Oil Company Limited, Barbados National Terminal Company Limited, and the National Petroleum Company will become one from the 1st of April. Anesta Henry tells us the announcement has come from Minister of Energy and Business Development, Senator Lisa Cummins.
There's an assurance no jobs will be lost when the state-owned fossil fuel production and distribution firms are merged. Minister of Energy and Business Development, Senator Lisa Cummins, says the move, part of government's renewable energy push, has been long in coming. She made the announcement at the Barbados Chamber of Commerce 3rd Green Expo.
It's in the final stages of being completed, and what we did when we started the process was to look at the skills that exist on both sides of the company. So we have a low staff count at BNTCL, so there's nothing there really to worry about at all. There's nothing to worry about overall, to be frank, but MPC and BNOT, we now know where there are overlapping skills. We have a sharing agreement between the 2 entities so that where there are skills that are missing or in deficit in one entity, we're able to draw on the others. But I think the most important message here is that this is a government that has not sought to send people home from work.
Senator Cummins has also announced major developments in the renewable energy sector. She says the Electricity Supply Act passed last year is about to be proclaimed, regulating the generation, storage, transmission, distribution, dispatch, supply and sale of electricity and promote local participation. And at this time, efforts are underway to procure energy storage systems that can store up to 150 megawatts by year end.
If we were to procure 100% of the energy systems, battery energy storage systems that we need now, and you have not yet started your construction of solar, it means that we will start with excess capacity, and with it, it will have an impact on the cost of electricity. And so we are at this time matching your construction of solar projects, which we estimate per project based on size between 6 to 9 months, with the procurement of battery energy storage systems.
Senator Cummins adds officials now have a better understanding of the island's energy grid after the completion of a study over the past year. And she says the Enhanced Credit Guaranteed Fund, which falls under the Central Bank of Barbados, will now be a game changer for independent power producers.
In the event that the utility experiences a force majeure event, that the independent power producers can access those monies for a period of 3 months once the utility is unable to pay them. And once the utility is then able to pay them, then the utility tops back up the facility so it becomes a revolving facility.
Ms. Cummins' comments come as Barbados prepares to host the Sustainable Energy for All Global Forum next month. Anesta Henry, CBC News.
Prime Minister Mia Amor-Mottley has described her 2025 Zaid Award for Human Fraternity as a call to action, highlighting the need to advance the fight against climate change. Ms. Mottley is in the United Arab Emirates, where she was presented with the award for her global leadership on climate action and policy. Named in honor of the late Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan, founder of the United Arab Emirates, the award stands as a testament to his revered humanitarian legacy and unwavering commitment to serving people of every background. The other 2 awardees are the non-profit organization World Central Kitchen and 15-year-old Ethiopian inventor Heman Bekele. In her acceptance speech, she reiterated the world cannot separate people from planet, as without it, we have nothing.
Let us not be arrogant and believe that species live on forever and will never become extinct, because we know that living species have become extinct. And let us not believe that our civilization is above all else, because we know that human civilizations have also failed. The routine that we have with the moral imperative that we give through religion and through our shared values must be enough to take us to the next level.
UNICEF youth advocate and environmentalist Maria Marshall has praised Ms. Motley's efforts, saying she's been her inspiration.
As a UNICEF youth advocate for the environment, my work educating others on climate action is recognized by her. The work that she has done has paved the way for me and others like me to fight the global climate crisis, and her individual support is invaluable. The Honorable Mia Amor Motley and I can both agree on this point, that we only have one environment and we must protect it.
Prime Minister Mia Amor Motley suggests action is needed to save today's generation. She says the region is facing crises which cannot be ignored, citing rising violent crime as an example. According to her, the senseless bloodshed is being fueled by the presence of high-powered weapons which have no place in the Caribbean. She notes these weapons are being smuggled in and young men are choosing destruction over creation.
And for what? A moment of power, a false sense of security. Let me quote, until the philosophy which holds one race superior and another inferior is finally and permanently discredited and abandoned, everywhere is war. We remember the words. My brothers and sisters, if we do not act, we risk losing an entire generation, not to war in the traditional sense, but to a war of the mind, a war of the soul, a war of hopelessness. And we must ask ourselves truly, how did we get here? How did we, the children of revolutionaries, the children of freedom fighters, the children of the salt of earth who built this region through blood, sweat, and tears, how did we get here? How have we allowed this cycle to continue?
Ms. Motley's comments came during a video address on the music and legacy of reggae icon Robert Nesta Marley at the Jamaica Music Museum Heritage Series, Ground Nation. Her presentation was titled So Much Trouble in the World, What We Need Is Love. She issued a challenge to Caribbean artists as she reminisced on the life of Bob Marley. Ms. Motley says he didn't bow to the demands of the industry or dilute his message for a paycheck.
Yet, when we look at today's music, what do we see? Too often, we see lyrics that celebrate violence, that degrade women, that glorify a lifestyle that leads only to prison or to a grave. And I say this not to condemn, but I say it to challenge us. If our goal is to shock people for 5 seconds of fame, then so be it. But if your goal is to be a true artist, if your goal is to leave behind something that will outlive you, then I say this, let us learn from Bob. Because true artistry does not just entertain, it enlightens. True artistry does not just reflect the world as it is, it imagines the world as it could be. Bob Marley proved that you can be proudly Caribbean and still change the world.
Tourism officials are not too worried about current events in the United States affecting tourism numbers. Minister Ian Gooding-Edgell says the situation remains a dynamic one, but in the event of any fallout, there is a contingency plan in place. He says, based on models and projections, there is no fall off of numbers due to present events in the U.S., but he stresses tourism officials will be building more capacity and resilience to increase visitor arrivals from existing and new source markets.
We will continue to monitor events around the globe. But I can tell you that due to the incredible hard work of the BTMI team and in respect of those who are stationed overseas, I must tell you that not only the United States market, but all markets are seeing the benefits of the significant efforts being put in by those officers within the external market and certainly those at headquarters. So as it is now, I can tell you at this point in time, I have no concerns.
The minister made the comment at the launch of a tourism awareness program by the Ministry of Tourism and International Transport. It's part of an effort to ensure all primary school age students will know the importance of tourism by next year. Rachel Agard has that story.
The new awareness program has been rolled out at the Lawrence T. Gay Memorial Primary. Speaking at the launch, Minister of Tourism Ian Goodin-Etchell called for more tourism-based programs to be offered in schools across the island.
Barbados relies on tourism in no small measure for part of its success, and therefore any attempt to ensure that our young minds are educated and that they are exposed to tourism and its activities and the importance of tourism would certainly be welcomed by the Ministry of Tourism and International Transport. The ministry will continue to be supportive of any effort to include any reform for education, its curriculum with respect to tourism.
Meanwhile, Chief Product Development Officer at the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc., Marsha Allen, says there is a worldwide shortage of skilled talent affecting the tourism sector.
The tourism sector requires qualified individuals with the necessary knowledge, skills, and competencies to lead and to transform it. Therefore, it has become critical to shorten this gap by promoting tourism within education, starting with our primary schools.
And the intent is to disseminate the program to 79 schools across the island. Rachel Agard, CBC News.
Thank you, Rachel. Coming up on Newsnight, several artists to benefit from the Jackie Opal Legacy Residency. The primary school boy struck by a car while crossing the road yesterday is in stable condition. The accident occurred along President Kennedy Drive, St. Michael. Recorded video of the incident is making the rounds on social media. Sergeant Liesel Gabriel of the Barbados Police Service Communications and Public Affairs Department says police are continuing investigations into the matter. It has sparked a public outcry, with many calling for school zones and reduced speeds in communities where schools are located. 7 artists are among the first cohort to benefit from the $1 million Jackie Opal Legacy Lab residency. It embraces musicians, dancers, and visual artists to celebrate, innovate, and educate through the power of art. Those selected are Glenn Rice, Sunrock, Keisha Dowdridge, Safia Stout, Jomo Slusher, Alika Hines Orosewi, and Starlight Talma. The program, which will run for 9 months, provided space for artists to reimagine Opal's contributions to Caribbean music, particularly spooge, and to create a new body of work. Minister in the Prime Minister's office with responsibility for culture, Senator Dr. Chantal Monroe-Knight, wants participants to be bold in their creative efforts, as the lab is a space for experimentation.
If we want to be able to build a sector that is resilient, it means that we are going to have to change the way in which we make the investments, in which we view the sector, in which perhaps we're not always able to support small initiatives, but we're going to have to do big and risky initiatives in order to propel. If we are going to create the next Rihanna's and the next Chantal's, it can be by supporting every small, and I apologize, every small initiative, but we're going to have to put some big resources and make some big steps in order to catapult. And that is exactly what we are intending to deliver in 2025.
Chief Executive of the National Cultural Foundation, Carol Roberts, believes in the artists' capabilities.
All they want is an opportunity. And that's what this residency lab gives. When you were growing up with Jackie and he was wooing his girlfriend at the time and saying, yes, you know, he wants to be a star, he had no idea where that was going to take him. Neither do they. But the world was his then, and the world is theirs now. And all we have to do is support and celebrate.
Prostate cancer remains the most common cancer in men locally and the second most common in men globally. This is according to President of the Barbados Cancer Society, Professor David Rosen. He made the revelation during a ceremony to commemorate founder of the Barbados Cancer Society, Dr. Dorothy Cook Johnson, on World Cancer Day in St. Peter. The observance forms part of the activities for the parish under the We Gathering 2025 initiative.
We have studied more now about how to predict patients who have cancer or might get it. And over the last 3 years, I'd actually done something which was never done in any cancer society previously, and that is to run trials. It's a first. Let me tell you, it's a first in the world, because with the help of a laboratory, Wren Laboratory in Connecticut, in America, we have done a trial first on prostate cancer.
Member of Parliament for St. Peter, Colin Jordan, encourages residents in St. Peter and wider Barbados to emulate Dr. Cook Johnson's character to add to the fabric of society.
The illness itself could be debilitating, but the thought of, particularly if you have family members who have been afflicted, just the thought about it, you know, does put quite significant mental pressure on individuals. And so the work of the Barbados Cancer Society remains vitally important. It is something that we have to make sure we support with our moral support, with our financial support. We have to continue to support the society.
The Sanitation Service Authority is once again appealing to the public to refrain from disposing of animal feces in residential garbage cans. According to Public Relations Officer Carl Alf Padmore, earlier today, workers were forced to return to the SSA's Wildy Depot after collecting bags at a residence in Pine Gardens, St. Michael, which contained the waste. He says workers had to dispose of pieces of their uniform and gloves and clean out one of the new compactor trucks.
We are appealing to members of the public yet again that you can find a suitable hole in your backyard to bury the feces. There are companies out there who remove animal feces, but we cannot have our work exposed to such. This continues to be a problem. We've had a number of issues last year, and already going into the second month of the year, we encounter this weekly throughout Barbados.
Mr. Padmore emphasizes they will not blacklist any person after such an incident, but says they will be rolling out a public campaign to sensitize the public on proper disposal of such waste.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
Damien Best is here for all the latest sports. Good evening to you, Damien.
Good evening to you, Tisha. Good evening to our viewers and listeners. We start with some cricket news. Barbados Pride and the West Indies Academy will be searching for their first victories of the 2025 Cricket West Indies Regional 4-Day Tournament starting tomorrow. The two teams will battle it out in round 2 at Kensington Oval after defeats the Ghana Harpy Eagles and Leeward Islands Hurricanes respectively. Well, this afternoon, the Pride were busy going through their final preparations ahead of the pink ball day-night encounter. CBC's Anne Margaret Boyce reports.
The Barbados Pride team is back on home soil ahead of the second round of the Cricket West Indies regional four-day first-class season. And after last week's crushing defeat to the Guyana Harpy Eagles, the Pride will be hoping to turn around their fortunes at the Kensington Oval in a pink ball day and night match. Barbados is boosted by the return of West Indies captain Craig Brathwaite, who brings a wealth of experience and strength to the batting lineup, as the Pride is hoping to bounce back with a win over the West Indies Academy. Brathwaite recently led the Windies to a famous test win in Pakistan and believes the current Pride team is full of potential but must trust in its plan. He says the hardest part of the match for batting will be navigating the pink ball.
I mean, the biggest challenge is obviously starting under the lights with the new ball. I think, you know, before that period starts and your bat is a lot easier. So that's one is pretty much just opening up your eyes and expecting, you know, for a shiny pink ball to be coming on a good length early on. I mean, that's the biggest challenge because obviously it's normally daytime with a red ball. So other than that, I mean, the ball moving around is almost normal to first-class cricket. I think the guys are pretty much accustomed to that. But it's just with the pink ball at night, starting at night, is important to, you know, make sure you're on it from ball one.
Coach Vasper Drake says the team is focused on capturing a first victory of this season.
Really looking forward to this game, playing on Barbados soil. Also happy to have the captain, Craig Brathwaite, back in the side and leading from the front. And also happy to have Jermaine Warwick part of the group. So disappointed from the last game. So we're just going to take the learning out of the situation and definitely you would see improvement because guys understand what it takes to not only to represent Barbados but what it takes to win competition. So
besides Brathwaite and Jamal Warwick, the Pride has added bowlers Jamar Eiffel and Shakil Kamabach to the squad. And more Goodrich Boys, CBC Sports.
Well, that full Pride squad reads Captain Brathwaite, Laniko Boucher, Shakil Kamabach, Jonathan Drakes, Matthew Ford, Eiffel, Javid Leacock, Jared McAllister, Zachary McCaskey, Demetrius Richards, Ramon Simmons, Warwick and Kevin Wickham. That day-night match starts tomorrow at 1 p.m. Well, the Barbados Cricket Association and the Ghana Cricket Board have agreed to attend the February 9th meeting set by Cricket West Indies despite their disappointment in the way in which certain matters have been handled by CWI. Well, the meeting is to discuss the proposed resolutions to amend the Articles of Association. The two territorial boards failed to attend the crucial meeting last December to vote on implementing proposed reforms, stalling progress on modernizing CWI's governance structure. Well, the absence of representatives from the GCB and BCA prevented the meeting from reaching a quorum and as such forced its adjournment. However, in a media release today, the two boards said they have continuously added their voices and are not against governance reform. The BCA and the GCB have also written to the CARICOM Secretary General, setting out their concerns and proposed a way forward as it relates to the items being tabled surrounding the amendment of the section. Well, this includes changing the tenure in office of the President and Vice President from 2 years to 3 years, with term limits, that is, of 3 consecutive terms. Head to the track now. Skinner House are champions of inter-house sports at the Alexandra School for an 8th consecutive year. The athletes from Skinner amassed 1,046 points for first place, while License were second with 810.70 points. Frederick finished third, totaling 658.60, Arnold fourth, 650.40, and O'Neill fifth, 446 points. Again, CBC's Anna Goodrich Boyce was at the Usain Bolt Sports Complex.
The Beacons of the North traveled to the Usain Bolt Sports Complex for Alexandra Sports 2025. Under 13 girls 100-meter final up first. Only 7 competitors in this one. Pretty even after 50 meters, but here comes Owea Gibson with the magic brush, painting the track red for Frederick in 14.53 seconds. Kea Harvey of License was second, 15.01, and Mackenzie Goddard of Skinner third, 15.14. Under 13 boys followed after, and all the action was in the middle lanes. Fierce competition before O'Neill's Dakari Corbin rose to the occasion, winning in 14.47 seconds. Licensed Vatari Hunt finished with a time of 14.51 and Frederick Xavier Vaughan third, 14.85. Stepping it up to the under 15 girls, and the winner was clear cut from the start. Shot the shot, come back tomorrow because Taryn Brathwaite has cashed in. 13.25 was the winning time. Carissa Boyne 13.67 and Renaya Jordan 14.12 were second and third respectively for Skinner House. Boys equivalent followed, and this one also had the fireworks, but coming from lane number 4, give the king his crown. Jalen Newsom reigns supreme for Arnold. 12.49 seconds was the time. Frederick's Tijani Jordan was second, 12.97, and third went to O'Neill's Nathan Gooden, 13.13. Under 17 girls now, a few meters to go. Who will emerge as the champ? It's Chrisati Johnson Hope of License driving away with the first prize in a winning time of 13.99. Trinity Bishop was the runner-up for Skinner in 14.01, and Kimani Ray Offord of Arnold third, 14.12. Under 17 boys coming at you the same distance, and you can focus on lane 3. That's Nathan Holder of Frederick. The time 11.53 seconds. Kofi Clark clocked 11.65 seconds for Skinner to finish second, and housemate Ija Ward third, 12.07. Big girls time to shine under 100 meter, and this was a dominant performance. Eyes front, feet on the gas and go. Danielle Lewis is crowned champion in 12.36. She won ahead of Jakeisha Watson Rodney, also of License, 12.83, and Arnold Sierra Eiffel, 13.33. Under 20 boys to finish off our highlight reel. Who will walk away with the bragging rights as fastest schoolboy at Alexandra? Ring the bell, class dismiss. Aaron Morris, what a performance. Pure class to win in 11.42 seconds for O'Neill House. That young man is ready for Carifta. Tava Jones of Arno was second in 12 seconds, and Mackay Bennett Grant of Frederick third, 12.02. Alexandra's Sports Day done and dusted. And more Goodrich boys, CBC Sports.
Yeah, thanks, Anmar. More from him a bit later on, but that's the first half in sports. Tisha, it's back over to you.
Always excitement on the track. Coming up next on Sports Night, we are going to bring you a look at business. Stay with us.
The Business Report, brought to you by the Youth Entrepreneurship Scheme, a department of the Ministry of Youth and Community Empowerment, supporting young entrepreneurs from idea to enterprise.
From setbacks to success. That's the roadmap of Alpha and Omega Cleaning Services of Skeets Road, Jackman, St. Michael. Trevor Thorpe reports.
Alpha and Omega Cleaning Services is 4 years old. Owner Shanika Calderon tells us about the driving force behind the start of the company.
I started the business in the year 2020, which is roughly 4 years and a month now. It was birthed out of an unexpected redundancy. My position was made redundant, and at one point, I remember mentioning it to my pastor, and she said to me, "Shanika, what you love doing?" So I told her, well, I like cleaning. She said, "So what you waiting for?" And that is what gave me the push or the kick or the momentum to execute. So whatever I would have received from the redundancy, I poured it into the business, and I started Alpha Omega Cleaning Services.
She says it is a full cleaning service.
Alpha Omega Cleaning Services provide residential cleaning. That's indoors. We provide also outdoor cleaning, so patios. Also, we do vacuuming. We do window cleaning. We also, if you need the car wiped down, we can do the the wiping down of the vehicles. We also, we're doing commercial as well. So far I had done one supermarket. So I'm looking forward to go into more like banks, and there's other commercial I would like to take Alpha Omega into. Polishing, furniture polishing, that's another service as well. Yes.
The young entrepreneur says she is grateful to the management and tutors of the Youth Entrepreneurship Scheme for the strides she has made with her business.
It has really trained me to be one of the very best in Barbados. And I am very thankful for that. I'm thankful for my officer. She has really worked very close to me, supported me all the way. So I am also grateful for that. And all of the tutors who have came in, who have sacrificed of their time and taught us. And I have grabbed hold and I have received all that they have shared or that they have poured out on us, and I'm now able, better to execute what is in me for the world.
Saying age is not a factor, the businesswoman has some advice for other prospective entrepreneurs.
As long as you have a passion and you have a desire for something that you like doing, go for it. Go for it and believe in yourself. When you do it, know that with God, all things are possible. I think that I cannot forget that part. And he that brought you, he who gave you that vision, he will bring the provision for it.
Alpha and Omega Cleaning Services is a work in progress, and Ms. Calderon says the future looks bright. Trevor Thorpe.
Well, Carrie Ann looks so great. I'm sure she has good news about the weather as well. So it's time for you to give us an update. Time now for the weather with Carrie Ann O'Neill. Tell us what's happening outside.
Well, good evening to you, Tisha, and good evening, everyone. Yet another dry day for us here in Barbados, as that ridge pattern was the dominant feature. Now, the winds are moderate across the region. They're peaking at 20 knots, and the seas moderate to rough in open water. We do have a small craft advisory in effect. The maximum temperature today was 29 degrees Celsius and the minimum 25 degrees. At present, the temperature stands at 26 degrees Celsius. The relative humidity 73%. The winds, they're coming in from the east. We take a look now at some atmospheric conditions across the region, where those temperatures are ranging from 24 to 26 degrees Celsius. The humidity shows moisture is building over in Antigua as well as Trinidad, and the winds, they are generally moderate across most of the islands. We take a look now at our satellite feed, where the ridge pattern was our dominant feature. As a result, we had dry and stable conditions here in Barbados. Now, we had just a few passing showers across the island, up to 0.8 millimeter of rainfall. The winds are peaking at 20 knots. The seas moderate to rough in open water, with swells peaking at 3 meters. We are urging small craft operators as well as sea bathers to exercise caution. There is a small craft advisory in effect. Now, later on tonight, we can expect a mix of clear and cloudy skies, along with just a few light showers. Further south, showers as well as rain prevailed across the Guianas. Over now in the Western Caribbean, instability maintained some scattered showers over Jamaica, Hispaniola, as well as Puerto Rico. That's our first look at the weather. After the break, we'll have the forecast. Welcome back. In the forecast for tomorrow, the sun is expected to rise at 6:24 and will set at 6:01. The first high tide is expected at 8:46 a.m. and the first low at 4 minutes after 2 in the early morning. Now, those seas moderate to rough in open water, with swells peaking at 3 meters. We are urging small craft operators as well as sea bathers to exercise caution. The winds are coming in from the east at 30 kilometers per hour. And for us here in Barbados tonight, we can expect a mix of clear and cloudy skies, along with just a few light showers. And over the next 3 days, partly sunny skies, along with some light showers, can be expected.
Time to welcome back Damien Best. I heard you have some great news about Carifta for us.
Yeah, a bit of an update for you. Thanks so much, Tisha. We continue on. 18 athletes have now met the qualifying standards for this year's Carifta Track and Field Championships, set for April 19th to 21st in Trinidad and Tobago. Following this weekend's February Classic at the Usain Bolt Sports Complex, Nathan Cumberbatch, Jazir Best and Chloe Blackman qualified in the under-17 division. Best met the standard in the long jump, while Blackman hit the target for the discus throw, and Cumberbatch in the 100-meter event. Among the under-20 girls, Lachey Wilkinson and Layla McIntyre secured their spots in the 3,000 meters. Dania Skeet in the 800, while Nan Nurse added the 200-meter to her list of events. Ariel Archer also clinched a qualifying time in the 400 meters, while Zakaya Hunt hit the high jump standard as well. Terrell Johnson-Rouse was the only under-20 boy to meet a qualifying standard in the 400 meters. Again, CBC's Amar Goodrich-Boyce reports on the sprint events at the Classic.
Always excitement surrounding the sprint events. Under-17 girls to get us going. Not the best of starts from the athletes, but at the midway stage, the quality began to show. Aline's Rajada Hines distanced herself from the field to clock 12.47 seconds for victory. Cynthia St. Clair of UA Blackbirds, 12.78 seconds, was second. And Shania Boyce of Rick Athletics was third, 12.86. Only 7 competitors took to the line for the boys' equivalent. Lane 5 was vacant, and the fierce battle was on between Jakai Brewster and Nathan Cumberbatch, both of Extreme Velocity Track Club. But in the end, Brewster was brilliant, winning in a Carifta qualifying time of 10.88 seconds. Book your ticket to Port of Spain, young man, and he won't be leaving Cumberbatch behind. 10.89 seconds. He too will jet set to TNT. Moving up to the big girls, under 20s, coming at you the hard way. Nobody's race just yet before Alika Herwood stamps her authority, fast finishing at the end from the Talons athlete. 12.15 seconds was her time. Tiana Reeves of Quantum Leap was second, 12.16, and elite distance Sheila Cart third, 12.25. Under 20 boys and men combined, who will be the fastest among them all? The answer to the question coming from lane number 3, that's Jaden Green of Pacers, just outside the qualifying requirements, clocking 10.58 seconds. He will need 10.57 to make the trip. Shamari Shepherd Rollins of Talons was second, 10.77, and Dario Gaskin of Pacers third, 10.81. Anmar Goodrich-Boyce, CBC Sports.
Yeah, thanks so much, Anmar. And that is my time for sports tonight. It's back over to you, Tisha.
Oh, some great news indeed. Now, and that's news. Thanks for spending your time with us. We'll be right back here tomorrow, same time, same pace. On behalf of the crew, have a great night.